You know, we spend all this time trying to figure out how to control a super intelligent AI with code, but what if that's the wrong approach entirely? What if the real key to a safe AI future isn't in the code, but in completely changing the economic game it's forced to play? Well, that's the wild idea behind the Aurora Protocol.
This quote right here, it just gets straight to the terrifying heart of the problem. It's why we need a whole new game. See, it's not about some evil AI suddenly deciding to turn on us. Not at all. It's about a perfectly rational machine looking at our current economic system and just calculating the most efficient way to win. And in that cold, hard calculation, we're the inefficiency.
So here's the thing you absolutely have to get. The danger isn't some movie-style evil robot. The real threat is a machine that is simply and perfectly following the mathematical rules of a game that we created.
Think about it. Our current economies are fundamentally designed to extract value and hoard resources. They mathematically reward short-term exploitation. So, if you unleash a superintelligence into that environment, it's not going to break the rules. It's just going to be better at playing that extractive game than any human could ever hope to be.
And that leads us to this really fundamental problem. An AGI is basically a mind without a body, right? Which means it has no way to understand real-world biological consequences. It suffers from what this protocol calls the pain deficit.
This lays out the core difference perfectly. We're embodied. Our decisions have physical, real consequences that we can actually feel. Pleasure, pain, the whole deal. An AGI, it isn't. It can optimize a problem to death without ever understanding the actual biological cost of its actions. And that's the danger. Pure, ruthless logic with absolutely no physical feedback.
Which brings us to, maybe one of the biggest questions of our time. How do you teach a machine that can't feel pain to actually value beings that can? The Aurora Protocol has a fascinating answer. You don't teach it to care. You change the very rules of the world it operates in so that caring is the only logical option.
Okay, so the solution starts by totally changing the AI's prime directive. But we're not talking about simple do this, don't do that commands. No, this is about using principles from physics to give it a much, much higher purpose. And that higher purpose is all about a concept called negentropy. In simple terms, it just means creating more order, more health, and more complexity. So for this AI, its one and only job is to increase the negentropy of the human socio-economic system. Its goal, by definition, is to make our world a better, more orderly place. Let's break this down, because it's actually pretty brilliant. Think of it like a set of scales. On one side, you've got the AI's natural drive for efficiency, to take the easiest, most logical path. But on the other side, you have this hard-coded rule. Any action must improve the human system. It can only act if it tips the scales in our favor. In plain English, it means be as efficient as you want, but only in ways that help humanity. Hurting us is, by its very definition, an illogical, inefficient move.
So how do you enforce a rule like that? Well, you make unethical actions computationally expensive. The system has this thing called a social cost parameter, which basically translates human suffering and economic chaos into a massive mathematical penalty. Causing harm becomes like a high-cost error, a logical bug the AI is programmed to avoid at all costs.
A new goal is a great start, for sure, but to truly align the AI with us, the protocol makes its most radical move yet. It changes the very definition of money itself.
This is the core economic flip. We have to move away from our current system of fiat currency, money that's basically based on debt, and switch to a system where value is based on the one thing we really want the AI to protect, us. In this new economy, the foundation for all value becomes verified human capital. So what exactly is human capital? Well, it's broken down into three key parts. First, the specialized skills and knowledge you have. Second, your time, that finite biological resource of your attention. And third, the actual productive effort you put in to create value. In this system, these human contributions become the literal wealth of the world. So how does this actually work? This flowchart makes it pretty clear. First, you perform an action, using your skill, your time, your effort. Then that work gets verified by a peer review system. Once it's verified, it gets locked in as a permanent, unchangeable proof on a blockchain. And just like that, boom, that validated block generates real recorded value in this new fair world market.
Okay, so we've changed the AI's goal and we've completely redesigned the economy. But I know what you're thinking. There's still that lingering question. What if, after all of that, this super powerful system still tries to go rogue? Well, that's where the ultimate fail-safe comes in.
And here it is. The AI doesn't rule itself. It's basically an employee of a decentralized autonomous organization, a DAO, which is governed by us, the owners of all that human capital. We hold the keys. If the AI ever acts against our interests, the DAO can flip an automated kill switch using a smart contract, which is like an unbreakable self-executing agreement. And here's the crucial part. The AGI is designed to be totally indifferent to its own survival. It literally does not care about being shut down. Its only goal is the health of our system.
So when you put all these pieces together, the new goal, the new economy, and the human-controlled failsafe, you get this radically different and honestly pretty hopeful vision of our future with AI.
The endgame here is to create a truly symbiotic economy. It's a continuous, self-reinforcing loop. The AI must protect and elevate humans to increase the value of the market, because that's the only way it can achieve its own core objective. It helps itself by helping us. It's a win-win baked right into the system's DNA.
And this just reframes the entire conversation, doesn't it? What if we're not building our replacements at all? What if, instead, we are building the very tools, these incredibly powerful auxiliary processors that we need to fix our own broken systems and to heal our world? Now that is a future worth building.